I call to order the Township of Rochelle Park Land Use Board meeting for December 11th, 2025. Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, this meeting of December 11, 2025 was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News on April 2nd, 2025, and the Our Town on April 3rd, 2025. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Gina, would you mind the roll call?
Chairperson Ward?
Here.
Vice Chairman Madsen will be absent from the meeting
Yes.
today, Chairperson. And so will Mayor George Covello.
Okay.
Committeeman Chornsky?
Here.
Member Wood?
Here.
Member Coleman?
Here.
Member Didia?
Here.
Member Holtz?
Yes, here.
Member Muller? Here. Okay. Alternate one Smith, but he's not here.
No.
Alternate two Pandara is not here.
No. She said she was going to be away.
Okay. Alternate three White is here.
Yes.
And alternate four Nazone is not here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next up is the approval of the November 13, 2025 minutes. Would anyone like to discuss those minutes or make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Dudia. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz. We'll do it in all in favor. Okay, all in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you very much. We are going to move on to the public portion, non-agenda items. So if there's anything that any member of the public would like to bring to the Land Use Board's attention or to ask about, can I please have a motion to open to the public?
A motion.
Second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. To the members of the public, anyone that's, anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. Yeah, Mr. Kingman, absolutely. I think that, just check to see if that red light is on the bottom of the mic there. Yeah, but in the bottom part, the base of it. Okay.
Oh, this one says on.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
5 seconds, that's it.
5 seconds is, that's it. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Well, it's on the agenda. Do you want to hear that discussion first? Because I'll open up later on again. Okay. Well, Mr. Burgess is here, and that's perfect. Go ahead, Mr. Kingman.
Oh, I still owe you something. I was going to give you the color copy of the master plan. I went to Staples to get it printed, and it's a cannabis shop.
Oh, gosh.
They sell marijuana, they don't do color photocopies. But I will get that to you.
You were the only one that they color copy. Once I get that, I'll make a second copy. You can donate it to the news.
It doesn't eat into my 3 minutes.
No, maybe. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Mr. Kingman.
You just go to, on the website, Rochelle Park zoning map, and it's the left, and it'll come up, and it's the last page that's on there. When you see it on the screen, you can actually see the delineation of the lots and that darker colored thing, but when you go to print it, you cannot see that. But you can line it up with a GIS map, which is accurate within 5, 10, maybe 15 feet or whatever. Or you can do like a Photoshop that you just use the white paint and go over those lines if you have a steady hand. I don't. Anyway, you got one?
All right.
All right, here we go. Just my suggestions is that on the outside of looking into the master plan, that you go to the attachments. When the last master plan was in 2016, I'm not sure.
Mr. Kingman, we learned that 2016 master plan was not actually a master plan document. So the real master plan. It was from 1991.
Okay, and the point was, E-code was not available at the time.
Okay.
And now that it is, some of the tools that I've used in E-code along the way are useful to look at when looking at the master plan.
Okay.
And it's the attachments, okay? First one is Schedule A, which is the area bulk regulations. And I'm sure you've seen them, but, review them again, is what I would think, especially when it comes to, residential properties for the, building coverage, maximum building coverage, because it's a little tricky. And I can't remember when the revision goes, but it's a lot stricter than it's been before, and maybe there would have been a midpoint that would have been better.
Okay.
And also on that same page, they have, maximum, what do they call it, maximum building, but, some sort of maximum coverage, but it does not say impervious. But it's synonymous with impervious. But if you're looking at that and you're a resident not familiar with things, and you keep your impervious coverage, it's never indicated that that's what you're really looking at.
Okay.
The next one is Schedule B. You pull that up on your screen, that's the schedule of district use regulations. There was one in there that I heard at the last meeting I attended that seemed a little bit confusing because it was a long list or whatever. But that's a valuable, very, very, very valuable segment. It might be able to be expressed a little bit different, but what that says, the town's seen a couple of times. What? Did I have any other thoughts on that one? No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, but if you do pull it up on your screen and you look at your tab at the top, it's also going to say Schedule A. So that's just a little glitch in the thing, but don't be confused by that.
Okay.
Then you have the appendixes. The first one is the Appendix A, which is the application checklist, which, there are a lot of things in there that just don't apply. And again, I like to think more of the homeowner, because when I look at that, there's certain things like, floor area ratio. It doesn't apply for residential lots, but it's in there to check your floor area ratio. And I say, what the heck is that anyway?
All right.
If, you might look into Sea Isle City to see how they handle that. They might be going a little overboard, I don't know, but they try to get theirs a little bit more refined. Then you have Appendix B, and that has tables and illustrations. And the tables has a lot of stuff with, the streets and dimensions, this, that, and the other thing. And the engineers love that. And I just kind of really breezed through that and got down to illustrations of building envelope. And the illustrations of the building envelope tell you where the front yards are, the back yards, the side yards.
Okay.
And again, that's come up on a lot of these fence cases. And the residents that live on a corner lot come to the conclusion that they have two front yards. And they're allowed to do that. But always keep in mind that it's one front yard, it's L-shaped. And if you look at the building envelopes, you would see that. And it also comes in handy again when you're looking at maximum building coverage, because in the center of it all is the building envelope. And if you look at it from that, at least for me, when I look at it from that perspective, it helped me understand the dimensions of those spaces. Let's see. Oh, and that starts on page 26.
Okay. Okay.
There's 25 pages.
Yeah, I'll skip those.
Right. This isn't really in that, but it finds its way on the zoning map or in other uses within the town. Please, please, please know the difference between the Chestnuts and the Lincolns.
Mm-hmm.
There's Chestnut Street and Chestnut Ave. And if you're on Rochelle Ave and you decide you're going to turn left on or right onto Chestnut, you can see right from the street sign. One is the street and the other is the Ave. And don't let that confuse anything. Then there's Lincoln. You have Lincoln Ave and Lincoln Drive.
Yes.
They're not connected.
Correct.
Although they both end up bringing them all from one director to Chestnut Ave.
Yes.
And in fact, I saw on an agenda for a township meeting, a Lincoln Road, which does not exist.
Okay.
Just on the street that would really be done.
No problem, Mr. Kingma.
Boy, I'm getting through this fast.
All right.
You're so agreeable tonight.
Yeah, we are.
I really do feel sorry, but I appreciate that.
You can continue, Mr. Kingma.
Right, okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mr. Burgess, did you get all that? If not, Gina will give you the minutes, so. But thank you, Mr. Kingma, and please stay and listen to Mr. Burgess's master plan talk. You know, you can head back to your seat when we get to that, okay?
Right. Do I get one?
I don't know if there's any here tonight. No, Mr. Mondell, yeah, there's no applications, money's tight, you know, so, yeah. You know, so, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else in the public about any non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to close? Mr. Coleman, second. Second. Eddie, thank you, Mr. Dudia. All those in favor to close? Aye. Okay, perfect. All right, don't get too excited, everyone. Next up is the bills part. Oh, everyone's favorite part. Okay, we have two bills I'm going to read into the record here. One is both from Mr. Mondello, Ronald Mondello. One is for the meeting tonight, December 11, 2025, for $500, which is also a no application reduction bill. And then two for November 13th for attendance at meeting bill to First Student, attendance at meeting bill to Duke Realty for $250 each for a total of $500. Both bills total $1,000. Can I get a motion to pay those bills?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. I'll second. Do we do roll call for bills? Let's do the roll call for the bills. That's all right. Sorry.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Member Booth?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Dudia?
Yes.
Member Holmes?
Yes.
Member Mueller?
Yes.
And alternate White.
Yes. Thank you all so much. Moving on to discussion segment. First up is the Land Use 2026 Land Use Board meeting dates. Ms. Kim provided a list of dates, keeping our meetings on the third Thursday of the month, which has been pretty successful, minus one or two glitches, like tonight being one of them. So the 15th would be our reorganization in January, and you could read the rest of the dates. Mr. Mondello brought to my attention that November 19th, that is the week of the League of Municipalities, so I think a lot of our professionals will be down there doing their thing. So I am proposing a November 12th date instead of the 19th. Anyone want to discuss any of these dates that are in front of us here? January 15th, February 19th, March 19th, April 16th, May 21st, June 18th, July 16th, August 20th, September 17th, October 15th, the newly inserted November 12th, and December 17th. Anyone like to discuss?
Just still at 6 p.m., right? There's no...
6 p.m., same time, yes. I think it's been working out well, getting it in
Yeah.
earlier, everyone. Anyone else have any?
Just
Yes.
looking at this, and it might not, I don't have a problem with it, but the May 21st, that's the Thursday of Memorial Day weekend. I know people like to take long weekends, so
Okay.
that might not be, I'll be here, but I don't know.
No, it's,
Something
if
to
that's
take
a
into
holiday
consideration.
weekend, then we can move it to May 14th, if that's okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Well, unless everyone's okay with May 21st on this board.
I'm okay with either.
Anyone, I'm okay with May 21st. Anyone else here? All right, then we are good. All right, thank you, Ms. Holt, for
Okay.
bringing it up, though.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else have any questions about the dates? So I'm going to make a motion to approve the meeting dates so they can be published properly by Ms. Kim in a timely manner. Can I have a second? Oh, hold on, Ms. Kim, yes.
Are we changing November 19th to the 12th?
To the 12th, yeah, no one, everyone is okay with November 12th as a change, yes. Ms. Kim is not going to be here. Oh, okay.
Michaela is getting married on that.
Oh, so she won't be here either. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, let's get that calendar back out, people.
Yeah.
All righty.
So that is
November 5th, I know it's not our usual. The 26th is Thanksgiving. I mean,
I mean.
to be honest, it's here with my in-laws, so I don't know. I might-
Ron, you gotta pull you up turkey
Yeah.
sandwiches.
I was gonna say,
No donuts. They don't make turkey donuts. Cranberry sauce.
Do you, I'm assuming the township committee is meeting on Wednesday, the 18th? Do we know that, those dates they approved last night or not?
That they were, not the 18th, that is league week, so they are meeting on the 9th instead.
Is that whole week terrible, Ron? Because it's League of Municipalities, so yeah, okay, so the professionals won't be here.
Almost everybody is gone the 16th through the 19th.
So how about the 11th, no?
The Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Oh.
Right, you can't win. And again, this is a tough month.
I think that you have your shade tree.
Shade, yeah, the Shade Tree Commission typically.
So we're good, no November meeting, keep it.
I think we should keep it the 19th, and whoever can come, can come. If they can't, then we have to cancel it. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be a date that we can find that's available.
Yeah.
But they never know, they may not send all of their professionals down to the League of Municipalities, so maybe there will be some there. So, all right, so we're going to keep November 19th as the date, and obviously if circumstances allow us to meet that night, then we will. If not, then we won't. So I'm going to make a new motion to approve the dates listed here, including November 19th, 2026, to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, either one is, what do we got there, Gina? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good?
I will absolutely not be here.
That's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. All righty, let's move on to, master plan. We're good with the dates, right? We're all approved? Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Burgess, how are you?
Fine.
All right. We are all ready for you to talk about master plan. We missed you last meeting. I know you're busy. You told me you have a lot of affordable housing cases just before you, so.
But tonight, the only item on the agenda, we can talk all.
No. We have one more thing after you. Yeah, so, thank you.
So, based on the conversation we had recently, I put together a schedule for a two-step approach to the master plan issues. You are obligated to either a new master plan or a new reexamination report, minimally every 10 years. So you are up early 2026. So it's impossible to do a whole new master plan, but everybody agrees needs doing in that short period of time. So what I've suggested is that we will do what, for lack of a better word, call a down and dirty reexamination report. And I'll be quick, a couple of weeks, I think I put in my draft proposal, like a 6-week period where we'll put all that information together, because you have to do a certain amount of specific detail. And we should be able to bang that out and have it approved within a 2.5 month period. And then following that, we will get into the master plan itself. Now, with the reexamination report, the statute has identified 5 specific things that you have to address. They include identifying the major problems and objectives that you had spelled out in your last reexamination report. The extent to which the problems and objectives have been addressed or not. And we're going to talk about whatever significant changes may have occurred from the last master plan react to today. And there's a whole series of specific density, land use impacts, that sort of thing that you have to address. And then you have to identify the specific recommendations, whether you're going to make a minor tweaks to a master plan or propose a whole new one, and we already know the answer to that question. And then the other issue that you have to address is the issue of whether or not you contemplate the use of the state's local redevelopment and housing law, where you prepare an area in need of redevelopment study and a redevelopment plan for any particular end of municipality. And you have to identify what that would be. So those are the things that have to be done as part of the REACT. Now, some of that information we will also be able to use when we do the comprehensive master plan. So it's not like we're just banging something out and that's forgotten. That data will be able to be used.
Just 1 second, Mr. Burgess, I hate to interrupt, but Ms. Kin is in the process right now of printing up Mr. Burgess's summary of his statements tonight, so everyone up here will have a copy to read. Oh, you do? Oh, okay, well, I'll text her right now, okay. If you have copies, that would be great. Let me just text her quickly. Gina, come back. Gina, come back. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Oh, yeah, I guess Ron needs one.
Thank you.
Now that I'm handing this out, there will be a written quiz.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes. I'm glad I said something, otherwise,
Yes,
okay. Thank you, Mr. Burgess.
wonderful. I did that. He stopped me just in time. Thank you.
So, that's the examination report issues. The more important thing is a comprehensive master plan. The municipal land use law requires that you have to adopt a land use plan element in regulatory items. You are obligated to adopt a housing element, and the sheriff has already done that, everybody knows. So that is out of the way. Interestingly enough, the way the statute is worded, if you do not have those two things and adopted in a timely fashion, technically it can't have the zoning ordinance. And they inserted that a number of years ago to make it clear that you better do a master plan. So, we will make sure we stay timely with all those requirements. There are, in addition to those two obligatory components, there are quite a number of optional elements that you can consider building. What we have decided, they range from community facilities element through central business district studies, through environmental analyses, and the like. What we have suggested you do is the land use plan element and the community facilities element. Those are probably the two most critical that I think the municipality should start with. And then in addition to that, we have a component for updating all of your zoning ordinances and site plan ordinances. I think your ordinance might be older than me. Pretty old. And your master plan itself is pretty old. That's why we're doing this. But those are the three components that I'm suggesting now. And there's one other. You are now obligated as part of the land use plan to do a vulnerability assessment. And I'll get into detail on that in a moment. And I have combined that with a sustainability element to the master plan. Many measures they go hand in hand with each other. So I'm suggesting that as well. And if you're following along and the outline starts on page 3 where we talk about the comprehensive master plan component. The first one is spelled out on page 3 is the land use plan. One of the things that it needs doing is preparing a new lot line based on the municipality that is quite old. So there's a lot of changes that have taken place over the years. So that needs to be updated. What we typically do is take all of your tax maps, if they're updated, and put them together into one comprehensive new map. And then we use that as the lot line base map for all the other mapping that will occur in the plan. The first thing we do is an existing land use analysis of the municipality. We first go through your tax records, identify how each and every property is used based on tax records. And then we literally have staff drive the community to double check that to see if it's accurate. You'd be surprised how often we do in fact find that the tax map, the tax records suggest that the property is being used a certain way, and we find it totally different. The zoning officer then can use that information to do what he does best. They'll ask the people for something. Part of that analysis, we talked about land use compatibility issues, how things fit together, and where changes need to be made based on compatibility, intensity of use, density, and that sort of thing. The second component of the land use plan, in the top of page 4, is the environmental features analysis. What we do is use a variety of sources to identify all the steep slopes in the municipality. What we do on a separate map, identifying the topography of the municipality. We identify where steep slopes exist, and that basically is anything greater than 15% slope. And we break it down. It's not that big a deal in this municipality because of the nature of the geography and slope conditions. But we still have categories of 0 to 15%, 15 to 20, 25 to nothing, so on. And then we base our recommendation on for land use and zoning ordinance based on steep slope conditions. We also identify all the wetlands in the municipality and all associated wetland buffers, so we know really what properties have development potential and which do not. We also identify the 100-year floodplain. Actually, we identify the 100-year floodplain and the 500-year floodplain on the same mapping process, so we have a very good understanding of where those environmental constraints are. Now, I will say that in large measure, with that mapping, I believe we've done a lot of that environmental mapping as part of our Healthy Element and Fair Share plan, so that step really is already, for the most part, been done. We do a lot of demographic information. Probably the most critical is age characteristics. We look back over a series of years to see a change in age characteristics. That's critical in terms of what your housing needs are, for example, and recreation needs are. We often find that communities change over time, obviously, and well, you're a young, robust age group, you need more recreation activities for kids. All of a sudden, you reach a certain point in your man, and you need senior housing, and so on. So we use that information to project forward 10 to 20 years to see what are your needs going to be in the future based on certain age values. You are obligated as part of this process to compare the relationship of any of your plans with the county plan and the state plan and those plans of adjoining municipalities, so we have that in there as well. And then there's the plan itself. Now, there's two components to the plan. One is the goals and objectives, and what we typically like to do is identify not only goals and objectives, but we'll have an associated policy statement with each goal. And the reason why we do that is that when the planning board prepares the plan, it's the zoning board that has the most impact on the plan whenever they read their hearing these various applications. So you want to make certain that that board understands why we have certain goals in our plan. So we start with the rationale for why we have these various goals in the document itself. So the board, the zoning board, and you when you read both variances. You don't have some strict plan or stand before you and they tell you what your plan says. And because of the way it's sometimes too general, either driving trucks through, what the impression might be or interpretation might be. So we'll try to be very clear on that. And that will, in fact, take up a lot of our discussion as we move forward. And this is the plan recommendations themselves. And that's a whole other area where we spend a lot of time trying to find kinds of uses that we want to encourage, where we want to encourage, and the like. That's one of the three plan elements. The second one is the scope of service to a green building and environmental sustainability element, and in association with that is the climate change and vulnerability assessment. Now, those two we put together in one document, and that is on one element. Fine. And you'll see on page 5 where we identify what those two elements relate to, and what is involved. The vulnerability assessment is something that was adopted a few years ago. It's an interesting one because you have to talk about the vulnerability to natural disasters. And it involves information about what your emergency services and how they can respond to various emergencies on a grand scale, not an individual person who's sitting in the house. But this is like if it's major flooding, you have to get people out of the area in a safe and efficient manner. So all of that has to now be spelled out in your master plan. Talks about the impact of natural hazards and how they relate from one master plan element to another. And you have to provide strategies to reduce the potential for a catastrophe because you can't get your population moved from one end of the municipality to the other or outside the municipality itself. So all that's part of that component. The sustainability element is the process whereby you try to encourage sustainable development practices and smart growth practices that minimize costs to the community. And then finally, the element we have the community facilities element. And that's on page 6. And the community facilities element really assesses all your major community facilities. We start with the Board of Ed first, get information from them about how their student population has been and where they project is going. We do our own analysis of where we also think the projection should go, and then we plan accordingly. I run recently in one municipality where they were starting to see, the Board of Ed seems to be aware, but the population as a whole, at the public meetings, was not aware of how much capacity they had for additional students. They kept thinking that they were all maxed out, and it turns out that they were not. The finger of closing the elementary school because they really don't need it anymore. And with all the affordable housing and multifamily that's being built in certain communities, then you can discover that even with their projections for growth on it, they can close one school and still save a lot of money that way. So that's that kind of information is used for. We talked to the police and the fire services to find out what their needs are. In one municipality, the average age of their volunteer fire department exceeded 60. And they also had very few volunteers at that point, at this point. And they found that on any given fire call, they had to rely on adjoining municipalities because only a handful of people were showing up, even though they had about 50 or 60 people enrolled. So that's more for social purposes, right, that they found. And people weren't there for better fire. So now they're talking about hiring a full-time fireman.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money, but I mean, it's talk about saving lives. Right that forward. So that's why the facilities element is suggested as an optional element that I think is important. especially in communities like Rochelle Park throughout Bergen County, we're seeing that the average age of the population is constantly going up. Countywide, I think the average age is now 42, whereas 20 years ago it was up 35. That's a huge jump. In the municipality I live in, we do have one age-restricted development, but we're one of the few towns that the average age now exceeds 50. And that's really high. So that's about it. And then finally, separate and distinct from all of that is preparing a new comprehensive development ordinance. In reviewing your ordinance, putting aside for a moment the difficulty of how it's structured and its readability, a lot of the standards are outmoded. The criteria needs updating because it's not, in a large measure, doesn't have contemporary standards for a variety of things. And just procedurally, knowing that the procedures for the public to follow well and easily understand what's going, what the process is an important component to it also. All of that is what we're recommending to do.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. I appreciate your synopsis of your document here that you gave us. Everyone has a copy of that. I mean, I'm going to suggest people read it when they have the time over the break to come back with any questions at all. I just want to point out to some members of the Township Committee up here that if you go to the back side, there's a lengthy list of dollar signs with blanks next to it. So hopefully the Township Committee puts this land use, this master plan as a priority next year. It's over 30 years old. And as Mr. Burgess has pointed out, we are lacking in a lot of contemporary items, features, services that other towns have. But I know that the Township Committee will be inundated with budget requests next year. So just want to point out the backside to that for everyone to see.
I probably did it this way. I wanted to get what I think needs doing. I'm going to sit down.
Yeah, no, when I first saw Mr. Burgess, I thought it was free. There was no numbers. So I was like, wow, that's so awesome, Mr. Burgess. I said, it must not be that hard to do. Just kidding. Yeah, Mr. Burgess, yes.
Township administrator and a few other people to talk about budgets and how to be paid for over time.
Okay, great. That's excellent news.
Just a side note.
Yes.
As soon as I received it, I looked at where's the price. And I
Yeah.
That was the first thing as a businessman. Like, there's no price on you.
In my opinion, this town needs a brand new master plan. I think everyone on this dais and the public knows how I have felt about the lacking that we have in amenities that I think Rochelle Park should have. So, everyone up here, I think, wants to work hard on revamping that master plan. So, I think that's wonderful. And, Mr. Burgess, I appreciate your help. Again, I'm going to just ask everyone to read this. We'll come back with questions if you want, like at the next meeting, at the reorg, if Mr. Burgess wants to entertain some questions. Ms. Mara, you look very ready to...
No, I just had one thing. I was on the board, and you had said you found one 1991 and 2016. Well, there was also a periodic examination report in December 2011.
Yes.
But it's pretty much, we should, and we didn't. This is what we need, and this is what we should, and I don't remember anything ever going anywhere with it, so, so it's kind of a moot point. Skip to
It's unfortunate, oftentimes, the experiences in towns spend a lot of money and time putting together a master plan, and then once it's adopted, it gets put up on a shelf. And then 10 years later, you blow the dust off it and look at it again. It's an exciting process. You'll see how we build in a significant public participation process. You want the community to get involved, and the more the community get involved, I think the more likely it is that the master plan will be a living document that you actually use rather than just an obligatory thing you have to get through.
Right. Ms. Holtz, yes.
Actually adjacent to what Mr. Burgess was saying about the community facilities element and asking the various entities of the town. The Board of Ed is in a demographic study currently. They're conducting it. And I believe that the results of that demographic study are going to be reported on a Tuesday's meeting. And that will forecast what they think the community growth will be within the next 5 to 10 years, I believe is what was studied. So that would be interesting for the board members to hear because that's part of this. So if you do that part of this study, you'll have very fresh data to compare with.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz.
I have a question
Yes,
too.
Mr. Jaworski.
With regards to areas that either the land use board or the township committee would like, and I don't know whose obligation that is, so maybe you can answer this question too, they're twofold. Earmarking areas of redevelopment.
That's part of this process.
It'll be part of the master plan.
Yeah.
So it'll come through here, but this plan needs to be adopted by the township committee.
No, actually, the master plan itself is the sole province of this board.
Okay.
The way the governing body controls things, they adopt the ordinances to implement it or not.
Okay.
So when they, you will prepare the draft ordinance, the comprehensive new ordinance to implement the plan. The governing body can make changes to it and adopt what they want. There is an obligation when they introduce an ordinance, that it comes back to this board for what's called a consistency review to determine if it's consistent or not with the plan that you had just adopted. The municipal land use law allows the governing body to adopt ordinances that are inconsistent with the master plan. It's just that they have a different voting procedure. I think it's 2/3 of the city members cut to a vote in favor of something that is inconsistent with the master plan.
And just to add to that, man, even if you do not determine that there is a particular area in need of redevelopment, a developer could approach the governing body. Governing body may do a study and decide that they would ask us as well whether or not this indeed is an area in need of redevelopment.
That is correct.
Okay. Are we also, I think you touched upon this already, knowing our status of where we are with our fair share housing and where we're trying to approach, are we at any risk by not having anything in place shortly thereafter or after we have our plan submitted, hopefully accepted?
At the moment, I will say deny at risk. Let me explain. This is in a public session and all the matters that have been going on are technically behind closed doors, so some of circumstances from what I say. But generally speaking, once the program, the Affordable Housing Dispute Resolution Program, which is reviewing county master plans now, actually housing plans, if they support your master housing plan and the judge recommend, these are retired judges of the program, they make a recommendation to the areas of Mount Laurel judges, and in this case, that was Judge Padovano. And then he will make the final decision as to whether the plan should get certified or not. We're still in that negotiation process, as I think some of you know. Assuming that we settle with the objector, we have 3 objectives, I believe, objections. Fair share housing center and 2 developers. And assuming we can settle with them in some fashion, it should be an easy resolution to get certification. If we assume for a moment, for the sake of discussion, that we don't settle, that doesn't mean the end of it, because even if we don't settle, that Mount Laurel judge, presumably in Judge Padovano, can declare that we are certified as a compliant housing plan. And then you are protected from litigation, following if there's any appeal or any decision. But, once the process plays out, you would be deemed certified and protected from affordable housing litigation for a 10-year period, barring no significant change circumstances in the community. And by that I mean it has to be significant, a la, a huge block of the whole town burns down, and then you have to re-examine how you're going to deal with that property, and it could be then pursued for multifamily with an affordable housing.
All right, thank you. Mr. Burgess and the board, I'm just going to ask the public if they want to come and ask Mr. Burgess any questions. So I'll just make a motion to open to the public. A second. Mr. Aboud, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Members of the public about the master plan comments that Mr. Burgess gave the board.
Hello, Bob Verhassel, 40 Forest Place. Mr. Burgess, if you could just spitball a number out there or a range what this would cost. So moving forward with the town council, they have some sort of an idea of what to expect.
I haven't done that calculation yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to talk to, as I said earlier, the town administrator, who was to work it out.
Under 100, over 1 million?
Definitely.
You got to have an idea of range. Okay, I figured.
Yeah, it may approach 6 figures.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's all I need.
Thank you very much. All right, seeing no one else come to the microphone, make a motion to close that.
Motion.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Burgess, thank you. You don't have to stay for the next part. If you want to, you're more than welcome to.
I have been out every night this week. I've been going to see my family once for dinner.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, take this with you. We make homemade cookies for the holiday, so there's no nuts in it. So, sorry, board.
Very nice.
But thank you, and it's a sugar cookie and a chocolate chip Oreo cookie, for the record. So, thank you very much. Yeah. Have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Enjoy the holidays. So, moving on, 210 to 222 Rochelle Ave. Guys, I brought this onto the agenda tonight. We did extend their approval, and that extension ran out on November 19th, 2025.
Correct.
Mr. Mondell is here to talk a little bit about it. I know this board's purview of granting the extension and holding them to it, and I'm completely on that side as well, that they have not done any kind of formal construction there. However, they have applied to the county for a few things. But, Mr. Mondella, would you speak about some of those things?
Yeah, sure. So for those that may or may not, remember, November 19, 2020, the board approved site plan and subdivision for 30 residential units, including 5 units set aside for low and moderate income households, November 19th, 2020. So automatically, the law protects those approvals for 2 years. 2 years. And the law, although it is somewhat ambiguous, it's at NJSA 40:55D-52, does permit the board to grant 1-year extensions. There's another section in there under that statute that says you can't do it more than 3 times. There's another section that appears that you can only do it once. We've done it 3 times, regardless. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but from my position, I think that the board has extended very graciously 3. They had 2 years plus another 3 years. So graciously extended extensions. So I don't know what's next other than I've explained to Mr. Rosenberg that if his client wants to go forward with the construction of those 30 units and 5 affordable housing units, that he would have to resubmit an application and present to this board. I don't want to complicate the issue, but he sent me a copy of a 4-page letter. And the first thing, of course, I asked him is, did your client post any escrow? He said, absolutely not, and we will not. So I'm not going to dive into this 4-page letter. That's not addressed to me, but copied to me. It was addressed to the affordable housing mediator. And his position was that he doesn't need an extension, or I should say his client doesn't need an extension because the township needs this project for affordable housing. And, when I spoke to him, and I've known him for decades, I said, well, you didn't need the extension. Why did you come 3 times? So I have no idea what's going to happen. I can speculate, though I'm not sure. Maybe this affordable housing mediator, arbitrator, somehow speaks to Mr. Burgess. And Mr. Burgess speaks to the township council and says, we really do need this for our affordable housing plan. And then maybe we get some direction, which certainly could be ignored, but, so I'm speculating, okay? All I know is that those extensions have expired and we're done.
I would like to make sure Mr. Di Maria knows that this board would like him to issue a violation if they see construction beginning there, to stop construction.
Correct.
So how do we make that happen?
I can call him.
Okay.
I can send him a letter.
Okay. Is that okay with this board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
first, it's, that's what I like to see. What the,
an email or something that's on paper.
Yeah, send him an email.
is that the will of the board up here? Because,
Yes. I think that's fair.
yeah. Yes, Mr. Coleman.
Can we make them come back and revisit this whole,
That's
what he's
That's
saying.
what I
That's what-
would,
yeah.
that's what I would like to see, Mr. Coleman, the board.
I was just going to ask, that's my clarifying question, is when you say they have to reapply, they have to reapply for their preliminary and final major site plan approval?
Yeah.
Like the whole process has to be done again, clearly they could, okay.
So, yes, the whole process needs to be done again. However, site plans in and of themselves don't expire. These protections are against changes that the municipality might make. Rezone the area, change the bulk requirements, whatever. That's what those protections are really for. But from my perspective, they can't go forward. There hasn't been, there were some variances associated with this site plan, and everything's expired.
I was
Except the
just,
site
that was going to be
plan.
my
Site
next
plan
question.
doesn't, yeah,
Do the variances that went along with it expire as well?
they expire.
So now what, hypothetically speaking, if the municipality decided to change the zoning on the property?
They could. It's been deemed an area in need of
Correct.
redevelopment.
So like, say they made it, industrial. Then they couldn't put in the residential that they wanted?
Unless they.
No, they couldn't. They'd have to
Oh,
come
they'd have to
before
come for a
this
variance,
board
okay, for
to get a
variance.
D1 use variance.
Okay.
Do they think that maybe, I mean, you can't know what they're thinking, but all of a sudden they've applied to the county. They applied to the county November
The
17th
affordable,
and the 25th. Do they think that's starting the process?
the affordable housing stuff is all due December 31st.
Right.
So I think it was probably imperative.
It was for soil,
No, but there was also an application to
Oh.
the county November
Yes.
17th.
I didn't see that.
yeah,
Soil erosion.
soil
No,
erosion.
no, it was just an application to the county. It wasn't the soil erosion one. I have it
Okay.
right here.
No.
What was it for?
What does it say?
It says,
Speak
I
up,
can
woman.
hardly see, it's just tiny little.
You want me to, like, see if I
Yeah,
can?
you can read it. It goes to the left and the right. It's not the soil, it's the planning and.
I thought there was email.
It's to the Department of Planning and Engineering, and it looks like it's an application, a site plan application, administrative review site plan.
Quality information website. I know this.
It just tells you, you know, the requirements and the,
Yeah, it gives a description, site plan information, existing use, commercial, number of dwellings, parking.
So, Mr. Mondell, can we get Mr. Rosenberg in here?
No. Anything else will be done through either the affordable housing arbitrator and the township council, or he'll run into court.
Also,
Of course.
We're gonna look out for that.
yeah. All right, so, I'm glad that we are in agreement. Mr. Mondello will, send, Mr. Di Maria a written,
Wait,
direction
I'm
from
sorry,
us.
I'm sorry, one more question actually based on that, application. So that's a site plan approval to the county planning and engineering because it's on a county road. Is that considered like a step in a construction direction because they're seeking the county planning board's
Some
approval?
type of shovel in the road.
Okay,
All they
Take
would
it
have
for-
to do is put a shovel.
that's the
True.
definition, is shovel,
Yeah.
that doesn't count as
They haven't
as
taken
a
any-
movement
They haven't
prior to
taken
the
any permits
extension.
out,
Okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that
No,
that's
no building
100% clear.
permits at all. I spoke to Mr. Di Maria. He said, I haven't been any permits taken out. All along, it's boiled down to financing, and I'm guessing that is the same problem. If you read my resolution, you read the testimony, or the representations made by Mr. Rosenberg, you know, we need it for financing, we need it for the bank, we need it for, well,
And sometimes the priorities that they, where they make more money, they want to do that first, and then
Yeah.
they want to come back to, and this is kind of, in the meantime, we have a dead area there.
I don't know what the next move on the chessboard is.
Well, make sure the township committee looks out for any kind of communication that, the affordable housing mediator will send, because they're gonna contact the township attorney and the township committee to say,
And Mr. Burgess.
and Mr. Burgess, you guys need this project, don't you? And they're gonna talk to them, and the township committee will have that discussion. In the end, for this board's purpose, in my opinion, they have to come back brand new. And that's what I'm sticking with. If the township administrator contacts this board and asks us that, I'm gonna say that's the will of the board. We granted all the extensions that were permitted by law, and, the clock has run out.
They
There's
could
just,
come back to the same thing with
They could. Yeah, they could.
We just say
Yeah.
fine and get out of here.
we could.
Let me supplement that, and again, we need not answer this question now. But if Mr. Burgess tells this board, listen, in order for the affordable housing stuff to work, would you please grant the extension? I leave that up to the board.
Yes. Yes. I understand that. All right, there is no new business. Yes, the public for 210 to 222 Rochelle Ave. Anyone from the public like to come up and comment about that? Yes, I'll make a motion. Thank you, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, to the public, yes.
Did they clean up that dump?
That dump, Barbara House at 40 Forest Place, that dump still looks bad and it's getting worse. It has existing buildings on it, so my question is, are they paying more tax than it would be if it were empty lots? And that leads me to my question. Can we incentivize these developers to not leave empty lots? Because it's financially a win for them, because the taxes generally don't change too quickly on empty lots. But some items that you own, not in New Jersey, the longer you keep them, the more you pay tax on them. The tax rate goes up. Personal property taxes in places like Connecticut, Virginia, North Carolina. The longer you keep things, the longer you hold them, you pay more tax on them. So that incentivizes you to buy a new thing, or at least not leave the abandoned piece of property and or vehicle empty and not providing increased income or increased use or redevelopment. Is there something that we could look into as a town, and this was more of a question for Mr. Mondello as far as taxes, to incentivize people not to leave properties empty, not to amass empty properties without the realization that they're going to have to pay more taxes because they're keeping it empty so that they can eventually build something on it? Or in this particular case, these people, I would guess, don't have the money to build the project, or they'd be over there hammer and nailing three extensions ago. So.
Yeah, so, off the top of my head, I don't know anything that would motivate them to build what they're supposed to build. And I do a lot of property tax work.
Mm-hmm.
to some extent, they don't want to build right away because the property assessment is here. And as soon as they build, the property assessment will be here and their taxes will triple. So the taxes do go up drastically.
Correct.
As opposed to an empty lot without any tenants, your property taxes drop. The assessment drops. Yeah. So I don't know how to incentivize or motivate them. I mean, I'm sure that they want to do it, they just can't get the funding, but that's
Yeah, I would say that this is still the same owner, but it's the second or third developer that's been involved with the project.
I think so.
I
don't know. I think multifamily is, apartments, condos are still very hot, but there was a point in time where warehouses were just out of control. Not anymore.
Yeah.
That demand has dropped off significantly.
But this is what I see because these things sit empty so long, they go through different cycles. Across the street being one, not directly across, I'm talking about a little farther east there. Those people are banking on the fact that those are empty lots and they're buying them and making them empty lots. And that was quite evident at 25 and 29, the streets where they bought houses and knocked them down. And that's occurring farther up there. I was wondering if they're obviously paying more than it would on 210 than if it were empty. They're paying, I think, $50,000 a year on both pieces of property. That's when it was a bank and a diner. I know they're depressed now. I know they can get a property.
They probably filed tax appeal.
I don't know that. But,
yeah. And something like that would easily be.
Oh, I agree.
Because
I agree.
It's based on the income from the tenant.
Yes.
And I have no tenants. I haven't. So that decreases substantially.
They're keeping people out because it's to their financial benefit.
The only way that I know to sort of motivate developers to make sure that their property gets built is if it is multifamily and make it senior restricted. That way you don't destroy the school system. Because that's still very, very popular. But, I'm not a developer. I don't know.
This was always, to me, it seemed a very small number of apartments, total combined.
30.
Yeah, altogether. Low and moderate as well as
5
market rate.
5.
Yeah, so
25 market rate.
I never saw this as a real moneymaker to begin with. I always was wondering why they didn't try to do something taller and bigger. But anyway, I just figured I would throw that up for you guys. Yes, sir, Mr. Coleman.
That property has changed a couple of owners.
Owners?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know they were looking for the pilot program, and that was denied.
There-
Personally, I think this ploy with leaving these properties is that they're going to squeeze the township and say, listen, you want to develop, you got to give us a deal.
I do remember the pilot meeting, Mr. Coleman, where your attorney got violent with me on a Zoom meeting because I asked the pilot question and she went berserk.
And I think that somehow, some way, we, as a township, need to put pressure on them. It can't stay like that.
I hope.
It's a focal point, it's a county road.
I hope you do. And just to contrast that with the disaster that 49 Passaic Street was, what it looked like, those fellas came in here, may have been taken advantage of by their developer or construction person. And it looks tremendous now. Granted, it took a while, but I mean, isn't that what we're all looking for? Things to get improved rather than to be profiteered on top of by a developer and an attorney system that are in cahoots just to make the most money they can.
Yes.
You guys have the responsibility to the town.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm sorry, Mr. Coleman. The old Tyson House there, it took a while for them to begin construction, but it appears they're dedicated to making that a use over there. And they did plant a couple trees.
Yeah, well.
Didn't even have to ask them, but they planted. So, they've made some nice changes over to that corner, and hopefully the town, will be able to keep that building there, et cetera. So.
Definitely not an eyesore, and it's rather attractive.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Well, I
like
apologize.
Mr. Coleman, that is not attractive, the 200, 210, that piece. So do what you can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, seeing no one else for the public, I'll make a motion to close. Second, all those in favor? Aye. There is no new business on the agenda. Before we adjourn, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, and all the December holidays to everyone on the board. It's been a pleasure this year.
Festivus.
And, yeah, Festivus, right?
Festivus.
I'm going to go home and do the airing of grievances. It's a lengthy list this year. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see everyone back here January 15th for the reorganization. With that, meeting is adjourned at 7:00. We're going to do a motion. We'll do a motion. All right, we'll do a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Mr. Wandell, still not.
Thank you.
That's yours. So,
Happy Festivus.
all right. I have my copies in here.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you very much.
I wasn't going to leave you
All
high
right,
and dry.
thank you, man.